You're doing the bare minimum. You're average. It's nobody else's fault but your own based upon the life that you have right now. So it's nobody's choice but your own if you want to change and improve the circumstances that you see. Nobody should have to motivate you to do what you want to do. Nobody should have to tell you to get on your grind. Nobody should have to tell you to put in work so you can accomplish your goals. You shouldn't have to watch a video to get motivated to do what you know you're supposed to be doing. Certain opportunities that just slip right out of my hands because I wasn't the person that I needed to be in the moment. What do you do in those times? Do you just complain? Do you procrastinate? Do you make excuses? Do you blame other people and point the finger? Or do you look in the mirror and literally get on your case and realize that it's your fault if you fumble? All right, what's good with y'all boys, man? Back at y'all with another video. Now in this video, we're gonna talk about the one thing that I could have did earlier that would have helped me level up way faster. Now, the one thing is simply committing to the grind at an early age, right? Because I think back to when I was playing basketball. I was playing basketball in middle school. I was playing basketball in high school, all leading up to my first knee injury when I first broke my knee. And as I sit back and reflect, I was doing this yesterday. I was reflecting back. I don't know why it just popped into my mind. I was just thinking about when I was playing basketball, right? There was nothing extraordinary about my talent. Like, yeah, I was pretty good, right? But it wasn't just like I was just the best of the best. I think back to when I was in high school. There was nothing extraordinary about my talent, but I was pretty decent. So when I was in middle school, I was in like 6th or 7th grade. I was playing basketball, right? There was this other dude named Duke. He was also in the same grade as me, but he was playing on the 8th grade team, right? Then when we fast forward to when we in our freshman year, we were going to the same high school. I'm playing on the freshman team. He's already playing on varsity, right? Like he was on the freshman team for probably a week or 2 weeks. They instantly moved into varsity. Now I'll tell you a funny story. Not funny, but it really paints the picture of committing to the grind at an early age, regardless of circumstances, right? Putting in more work than what was required and not doing the bare minimum. So we was doing this drill in tryouts. It was like 9th or 10th grade, right? Had to be 9th grade. But we was doing this drill and I was on offense. Duke was on defense. So I don't remember what the drill was supposed to be. I think you're supposed to just like dribble and like a zigzag to half court or just basically try to get to half court, something like that, right? I don't really remember the drill, but I was on offense. He was on defense. So I'm dribbling, you know, I'm trying to make a move on him, try to get by him. Bro, he rips me so fast. He steals the ball from me so fast. And it's like, it was like a different type of animation because like he ripped me and I fell to the ground. Like, I don't even remember what happened, bro. But it dawned on me in that moment because I was on the ground. I was getting back up. I'm like, bro, what the heck just happened? But it was the level of intensity that he was playing with, the mindset that he had, the perspective that he had, the grit that he had in that moment. This is just tryouts. He had a guaranteed spot. There was no way he wasn't going to make the team. Right? Because this had to be 10th grade. He was already on the team or something like that. So this had to be like 10th grade. But the effort that he was giving in tryouts, it was like he was playing the last game of the season and it was like down to the last 30 seconds. That's the type of effort and intensity he was going with. And I just reflect back throughout my entire basketball career, I was doing the bare minimum, bro. Right? Like I go hard in practice sometimes. I train on the weekends sometimes, but my dad had to basically force me to work out on the weekends. Right? Sometimes my dad would have to like get on my case or call me out when I was messing up for me to really just lock in and get in that mode. I wasn't just automatically in that mode off rip. I remember this one time, bro. My dad came to my crib to pick me and my brother up so we could go train. Now, my mom, she had to be gone because of what happened, but we knew that he was about to be showing up, right? We knew that he was probably gonna be coming like 9 or 10 in the morning. We was finna go hoop till about 12:30, right? But when he gets there, he ringing the doorbell. And probably before he got there ringing the doorbell, because typically when he ever pulled up to pick us up for anything, he's not getting out the car. He's gonna text us, let us know he there, or call us, let us know he there, or down the street. We gonna beat him outside. But this particular day, we sleeping in, right? We ain't trying to get out the bed. We ain't trying to go hoop. And I kid you not, he gets out, he's probably blowing our phones up, we not answering. Keep in mind, bro, my phone is on the bed on the pillow. So obviously I hear the phone ringing, right? I feel the vibration when he's texting me. I'm just ignoring it. So he gets out of the car, starts ringing the doorbell like a maniac. Ringing the doorbell, ringing the doorbell, ringing the doorbell, ringing the doorbell. We ignoring it. Now that's not enough. I think he's probably still calling us at the same time while he's ringing the doorbell. This is not enough. So he starts beating on my window. Beating on my window, bro. I'm ignoring it, acting like I'm asleep. I think he went around the house to my brother's window, beating on the window. He ignoring it. So this probably went on for like 20, 30 minutes. Like he was really putting in work to try to get us there. I guarantee you if he had a key, he would have went in there and it would have been a bad scene. But after enough time of him realizing that we was ignoring the texts, we ignoring the calls, we ignoring the doorbell, we ignoring him beating on the window, he left. And I sit back and I thought about that yesterday, bro. And I was like, there was absolutely no way that I was going to get to college basketball. Because basketball was my first love, bro. I wanted to go to the NBA. I wanted to play college ball. Like, that was what I wanted to do because that's what my dad did, right? My dad could have easily went to the NBA. He played college ball, right? He played in high school. He was averaging 20. Like, he was him. So I wanted to follow in his footsteps. I wanted to hoop, right? I was naturally gifted. I had to put in extra work, but I was not doing what it took to get to that level. I was not playing with that same intensity. That's why I told you the story about me and Duke. Because me, I'm 6'3", right? But Duke is like 5'8". So the odds was already stacked against him. Who do you know in the NBA that's 5'8"? But regardless of what was happening, he was putting in the work from an early age. He already had his mind made up that he was finna hoop, when nothing gonna stop him, when nobody gonna get in his way. If you defended him, he finna drop 30 on you. If he guarding you, he finna lock you up. Like, this was his mindset. He didn't have to say nothing. He didn't have to talk trash. You just seen the intensity that he played with. And I sit back and think, I was just giving the bare minimum effort, right? I wasn't putting in the work. I wasn't committed to the grind. I wasn't doing what it took to get to the next level. I didn't want to go to practice early. I didn't want to stay late. I wasn't just locked in and in that mode. I was just showing up, going through the motions. And it's crazy because the same thing translated when I broke my knee in 10th grade. Because I would go to physical therapy twice a week. Now, granted, this was my first knee injury, so I didn't know the severity of my rehab. I thought that going to physical therapy twice a week was enough. I was doing the bare minimum exercises, the bare minimum rehab on my own time when I wasn't at therapy. But more importantly, like, I was doing the basic mobility exercises, like being able to bend my knee and let my knee hang off the bed so it can bend and stuff like that. I was doing that because obviously if I wanted to get back to walking, then I had to do those things, right? So I did what it took to get back to walking on my own time. I'll give myself credit for that, but that's not enough. Because when it came back to when I was walking, everything was smooth and I was kind of done with physical therapy, I was not taking care of myself. I was not prioritizing building up that muscle and really putting that work in, right? So this is why I know this is exactly why I had another knee injury 2 years later, because I did not properly rehab. But of course I hopped back on the court, right? Playing with a knee brace, and the mental aspect of it, like, I was cooked. I did not have that same confidence before the injuries, right? And I was at my peak right before I got hurt. But it took a toll on my confidence. It took a toll on my performance. And the second time that I got hurt, it was a freak accident. And I was mad. But it didn't seem as bad as it was the first time because I could get up, I could walk. Like, I needed crutches, but then I stopped using crutches the same day, right? And I was just like, okay, I'm going to just go through the pain. I'm going to just get through it. And I'm going to just kind of do what it takes to get to the next level. I was like, I know I'm not going to need surgery because I can walk. Like, I see the swelling in my knee, but I can get the swelling down. Like, over the course of like the next 2 weeks, the swelling went down. But I ended up getting an MRI. They said that I need to have surgery. Boom. I feel like I'm back at square one. And at that point, I knew that hooping was not for me. But why do I tell you this story? Because maybe it wasn't basketball for you. Maybe it was football. Maybe it was boxing, right? Who knows what it was? Maybe it was a job opportunity. When you just were not the person that you needed to be in the moment to get the outcome that you desired because you were not committed, right? Like, my intensity, when I was playing with basketball, it was like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But then you go back to Duke's perspective. It was like, it's gonna work and I'm gonna do whatever it takes. There's no plan B. There's no second option. Like, this is what I'm finna do and I'm devoted to this. Nothing's gonna stop me. I'm gonna put that work in. I'm gonna do more than what's required. And now my question to you is, are you committed to the grind? Are you committed to the daily task? Are you committed to leveling up for the rest of your life? See, this is the problem right here. You wanna level up just so you can get something. You wanna level up just for the validation, just for the recognition, right? You want to put in work at the gym just so you can get the certain physique so women can look at you. But then you fall off because you get comfortable. You want to start that side hustle so that you can spend all the money that you bringing in on stuff that does not matter. So you can increase your bills. So you can flex for people who don't care about you, right? But the mindset that you have to have with these goals, the mindset that you have to have with life in general is, I'm going to do more than what's required. I'm going to put in the work. I don't care what nobody else says. I'm going to do what it takes to get to that next level. If I would have locked in with basketball, I would have a completely different approach to just everything else that I was doing in my life. If I would have locked in on my rehab, after I broke my knee, had 2 knee surgeries, I would be in a completely different place physically and mentally. If I would have locked in, like really locked in and not just did the bare minimum when I first started making content, I would be in a completely different place right now with my business. There's been times where there was a certain mentorship or a certain opportunity that presented itself that I wanted to invest in and I didn't have the money. Certain opportunities that just slip right out of my hands because I wasn't the person that I needed to be in the moment. What do you do in those times? Do you just complain? Do you procrastinate? Do you make excuses? Do you blame other people and point the finger? Or do you look in the mirror and literally get on your case and realize that it's your fault if you fumble. It can be with a woman, bro. It's this woman that you find very, very, very attractive, but she does not notice you because you're not the man that you need to be. Because you're more focused on her than your purpose. So she slips right out of your hands. Even if she was giving you a little bit of choosing signals, you started showering her with compliments and attention, now you turned her off. The commitment is what you need. All throughout my life, as I reflect back on this basketball stuff, I realized that my commitment was not there. I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I had to get on my case literally for me to lock in and get in that mode and play how I was supposed to be playing all seconds of the day. Nobody should have to motivate you to do what you want to do. Nobody should have to tell you to get on your grind. Nobody should have to tell you to put in work so you can accomplish your goals. You shouldn't have to watch a video to get motivated to do what you know you're supposed to be doing. You don't need support systems. You don't need your friends to go on a journey with you for you to put in the work. Because if you don't put in the work, nothing in your life is going to change. If you stay the same, nothing in your life is going to change. Nothing is going to improve. You're not going to accomplish your goals. So it does not matter how bad you say you want it. It does not matter how much you think about it, how much you talk about your goals, how many people you tell. The actions that you take every single day will show you if you want it or not. The work that you continue to put in when you're not seeing the results is going to show if you really want it or not. When you soar, and you still go to the gym, when that alarm goes off at 4:30 in the morning, you tired because you went to bed at 12, but you still get up. Those are the days when it counts the most. When you get fired from your job, but you don't quit and complain and cry and huddle in a corner, but you look at this as one door closing and another one opening. Those are the things that matter the most. But you have to learn in the moment from your mistakes. More importantly, you have to learn from other people's mistakes. You have to stop going through life like you're an average person, but you have these extraordinary goals. And you need to raise your standards in your life to not accept mediocrity, to snap out of it when you're getting distracted, to snap out of it when those vices are trying to take control of you. You have to have that discipline and that willpower, because in the beginning, that's all that you're gonna have to use. That's all that you're gonna have to rely on, that discipline and that willpower, because you're not the person yet. So you have to put in sheer force action every single day to start getting a little bit of results, to start building a little bit of momentum. And over time, you will be able to formulate your mindset and reprogram your mindset, right? Over time, you will build those positive habits that reinforce the work every single day. So that when you don't feel motivated, you can still rely on that discipline. You can rely on the standards based on the habits that you implement every single day. Because although I'm not hooping anymore, I don't have hoop dreams, I know I'm past college, right? I know I'm not going to the NBA, I don't think about that no more, but it still translates to my entrepreneurship journey. I told myself when I first started making content that it does not matter how long it takes, this is what I'm gonna do. And another thing is you cannot compare your journey to other people. Some people hit 10K subscribers in a month. Some people hit 10K subscribers in a year. Some people 6 months, some people 2 years, right? It took me a few years to get to 10K subscribers, right? It took me like 3 years to get there. But there's reasons why it took me that long. There's other reasons why I could have got there faster. You have to be able to just look at your life and ask yourself, how much work am I putting in every single day? Am I doing the bare minimum? Working my 9 to 5, waking up a little bit earlier. Like, I look at my schedule right now, and honestly, that's not enough. Waking up at 4:30, so what? Right? Hitting the gym before work, so what? Working on my side hustle, or working on my business rather, when I get off of work, so what? It is the bare minimum that I'm doing right now. I'm not satisfied with my efforts. I'm not satisfied with my results. I understand that I could be farther right now, but there are certain things that I did not do, that I was not the person that I needed to be in specific moments. So I missed out on certain opportunities. And instead of complaining, instead of letting that tear me down, I have to use that as fuel. When I didn't want to do anything but go to sleep, because that's where I can find peace, I have to use those times as fuel. Because I was literally there in January, December, right, of this year. I just wanted to go to sleep because that was the only way that I could escape from my current reality. But now it's a certain commitment level, because when you commit, you make a decision to literally transform your life. What are you committed to right now? You are committed to social media. You are committed to chasing women. You are committed to scrolling on TikTok all day. You are committed to jacking off all day. You are committed to not waking up early. You are committed to skipping the gym. You are committed to eating that fast food every single day. You committed to them video games. You committed to smoking and drinking and going out every single weekend, celebrating working 5 days in a row. You were committed to calling another grown man boss and fulfilling his purpose, but you don't have no time to fulfill and work on your own. Does that sound normal to you? Does that sound okay? Because that's the reality that you live in. But you know what's crazy? You still think about your goals. You still think about what you want your life to be like. You still look on social media and look at what other people are doing. Look at the life that they're living, and you let it tear you down. You look at them like they're anomalies, when they're humans just like you. They got the same 24 hours as you. They just did different things. They got a different belief system. They got a different work ethic. You're doing the bare minimum. You're average, right? It's nobody else's fault but your own based upon the life that you have right now. So it's nobody's choice but your own if you want to change and improve the circumstances that you see. Reading another book is not going to do it. Watching another video. This video cannot be the thing that just wakes you up. Maybe it is though. But what are you going to do when you finish the video? Are you going to go back and find the next video? Are you going to go back to scrolling? Or are you going to realize like, man, Quay, he wasn't lying. Quay, he was speaking directly to me. Something does need to change. I need to improve my life right now, right? Are you going to wake up tomorrow early and hit the gym? Are you going to do the 100 push-ups? Are you going to delete those apps? What are you going to do to get to the next level? It all depends on your commitment level. Because a lot of us, we semi-committed. We committed Monday through Friday, but on the weekends, it's, I don't know, right? We committed when we got motivation, but then when it goes away, it's like, I don't know. When nobody is looking, what are you doing? When it's just you and your thoughts, what are you thinking about? What is roaming through your head? What is your internal programming designed for you to create externally? Mediocrity or 1% success? This is another thing. This is very important. It just popped into my head. You have to downplay everything that you've done. Just like I was telling you that everything that I'm doing is the bare minimum. Because the average people, my coworkers at work, bro, they not coming home off work, recording a video. They're not waking up at 4:30 going to the gym, right? They're not focused on their purpose and their side hustle. But I still look at this like it's the bare minimum because I know where I could be if I was more locked in. They're not reading 10 pages a day, but that's nothing. I know where I could be if I was more locked in, so I'm not satisfied with none of that. You gotta downplay that stuff, bro. Don't nobody care because you 180 pounds. Nobody cares because you got a six-pack. You have to stop looking at one area of your life that's excelling, but be average in every other area. Like, yeah, you in shape, but what does your finances look like, right? Yeah, you in shape, but you got the bag, but what does your relationship with God look like? It's like you in shape, you got the bag, but your relationship with God is trash. You in shape, got the bag, but you still chasing women. You in shape, you ain't got the bag, but you still going out every single weekend. Something is missing in your life. Like, you want to check every box in your life to be the ultimate version of yourself. The ultimate version of yourself gonna be like that mentally. Your mindset is gonna be pure, stoic, focused on God's word. Physically, you're gonna be in shape. You're not gonna be skinny. You're not gonna be skinny fat. You're not gonna be obese, right? But you're gonna be jacked. You're gonna be ripped. You're gonna be in shape. You're gonna have a six-pack. You're gonna have muscles. Emotionally, you're not gonna be crying and complaining all day, but you're gonna endure the pain that you face. You're gonna transmute it into positive inputs. Spiritually, you're going to be locked in with God. You're not going to be out here plugged into the matrix, trapped, listening to what society is programming you, listening to all that propaganda. But you're going to be locked in every area of your life. Financially, right? You're going to be on your purpose. Every man needs a side hustle. You're not working that job because that's what you want to do for the rest of your life. You're not. But even if you are the slim percentile of people who work in a job that they're truly passionate about, and you want that to be your career, you still need a side hustle. You still need a side hustle. Right? Because unless you're a doctor, lawyer, something like that, bro, your income goals are not going to come from that 9 to 5 that you work in. So you have to have other things that's going on in your life that could bring in extra income so that you can get to the next level. It's always more work to do. Anytime you catch yourself scrolling on your phone, slap yourself in the face because it's always more work to do. Always. When you catch yourself waking up, waiting on that girl to text you back, you realize that she didn't text you back, now your whole day messed up, slap yourself in the face because you're being weak. When you catch yourself looking on social media, complaining about what somebody else doing and how you ain't doing it, slap yourself in the face because you acting like a little girl. Literally, when you avoid the work, when you sleep in, slap yourself in the face. You have to be that hard on yourself because nobody else is going to do it for you. You cannot rely on somebody. Like I had my dad when I was younger, like, come on, Quay, lock in. Why you missing that layup? Different stuff like that. Like, you have to have that for yourself. You're a full grown man. Should nobody be making you have to work. You should just be there 100%. You should never turn the switch off. 25/8, you should be locked in. You should just be on autopilot, bro. You should wake up and you should be working until you go to sleep. I don't care if you got a girlfriend. I don't care if you stay with your mama, right? I don't care if you work 12-hour shifts. You better figure it out. Because if you don't plan a schedule every single day, if you don't have daily inputs that you can follow, you always gonna be all over the place. Stop looking for balance, right? Nothing about your life should be balanced right now. When you got more work to put in. When the work is done, which it never will be, then you can look for balance, right? When you got the physique goals, when you got the financial goals, when you got the relationship with God, when you got the relationship with the godly woman, or you married, or whatever you want to do, right? When you got a family, then you can look for balance in your life. But right now, it's just you, right? If you're in a relationship right now, you need to integrate that into your life. Stop looking for balance and look for integration. Everything that you're doing must complement one another, right? My schedule is complemented based upon my work hours with my 9 to 5, because I work 10-hour days, but I still wake up early so I can make sure I hit the gym, and I still use my hours at work to still be watching motivational content, to still be journaling, right? To still be thinking about certain things that I can do within my business, to think about the action plan when I get off. So everything is congruent. Everything is just like one thing after another. I don't wake up and just not know what I'm doing for the day. I got a schedule. I follow it every single day. It's due to my commitment level. I'm telling you here right now, I'm not as committed as I need to be. And that's why I have the results that I have right now. When I stop looking at things like they're out of my control, then I can get the power back. So me saying this right now, being transparent with y'all, telling you that, bro, I am not as locked in as I need to be. You can probably relate to that. I'm talking to myself as I'm talking to you, bro. So it's time to make a change. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm committed. Write it down. Say, I'm committed. The old version of myself is no more. Write it on a piece of paper. Say it out loud. Burn it. Because that's how serious you are. But I don't care what you're talking about. If you don't put in the work, if you don't have that commitment level, it's not going to work. Simple. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.